I know what you're thinking. 2 days in a row for a daily drive? But you're incorrect, because this, my friends, is not a daily drive. This is a drag race drive! What's a drag race drive? Guys, I absolutely adore RuPaul's Drag Race. And I use that word adore on purpose because also the name of my favorite queen. I love RuPaul's Drag Race so much. We watch every single year, and it's pretty much my favorite television show almost of all time at this point. I mean, because it's so good, it's so empowering, and it's so much fun. But I never really have a place to talk about it because not a lot of people I know really like it as much as we do. I mean, it's literally a family event in our house because myself and Martina and Alex usually sit around the couch and we watch it. Sometimes we miss a week, like last night, so we had to watch 2 episodes in a row. But my God, that show is amazing. This season, season 8, is significantly better than last season. Last season was a piece of dog crap. I'm sorry, it just was not good. But this season is really, all the queens are fantastic, and like there's actually people to root for and people to dislike. Last night's episode, or 2 nights ago, was episode 4, and it was New Wave Queens, and it was centered around 80s challenges. So pretty much catered for me to love it, of course. So the girls split up into 3 separate teams, and they had to create lyrics and like kind of dance routines to these 80s inspired tunes. There was a dance tune, there was a party tune, there was a synth tune. And I found it very interesting that the team that was kind of reluctantly like, okay, we can work together, they're the team that won. And they wound up being my favorite team, even though my favorite queen of the season is not in that team. But they were Lay Chicken Wing, and they had Punk. That was their thing, not Pop, Punk. And their Punk song was really good. It was about like condiments and chicken wings and all that stuff, and it was actually like really clever, really funny, and it was great. Like I want to download it and put it on my iPod. Like that's how good it was. So it just goes to show that you never really know what you're gonna like. I mean, this year is really filled with all sorts of diverse queens. You know, obviously the normal comedy queens. You have a cosplay queen who's known for doing these elaborate cosplays, much like you would see at a convention, but in drag. And though it hasn't, like, it played a lot into the very first episode of the season, but it hasn't really come up again. So I found that super interesting, and the styles are really cool that she comes up with. There's also a really famous drag queen, if you've been to Las Vegas before, Derek Barry, who has been performing as Britney Spears for years in Vegas. So that is interesting to see that kind of evolution of what else she can do. All the New York queens are pretty hilarious, even though I kind of hate Acid Betty. She's kind of a bitch. But Bob the Drag Queen is, like, I don't know, I think one of the underdogs this year, only because she's so snarky and funny, but you don't really expect her to win. But really, really good. I really like the style that she comes up with. And then Thorgy Thor, who is definitely my favorite this year, only because just so diverse and interesting and a lot of weird styles, and I can't even explain it. I just really like Thorgy Thor. It's so good. This year is so good, you guys. I don't understand. When they were trying to practice their lyrics in front of Lucian, and they were just kind of, you know, they were the first team to band together, the New York team, the New York girls, and they were all about working together. And then when it came down to it, when they were, you know, creating the lyrics, there were issues. When they were practicing in front of Lucian so that he could hear the lyrics, there were issues there too. They were, you know, kind of supposed to be like the B-52s, but not the B-52s. So Bob the Drag Queen was kind of angry at Thorgy Thor and was taking his frustrations on Lucian, who was trying to give them advice and help them win. And it's just a mess. It's just drama, and I love every minute of it, every single minute of it. And I love the show. I love the show so much. I love the show. I get it that I don't get to see it live like most people do, so I try to avoid all spoilers whatsoever, so by the time we get to it, it's still kind of fresh in our mind. And we managed to do so. We didn't see what queen was coming back till last night, so that was good. I stayed away from the Drag Race trades, if you will. And it was kind of a surprise to see her come back in episode 3, and then kind of not a surprise to see Naisha leave in episode 4. So she was back for an episode and a half before she was sent home again. I don't know, guys. I know again I'm rambling. I just really love RuPaul's Drag Race. It's so good. I'm probably like one of the few straight males who really enjoy RuPaul's Drag Race, but it's such a good show. It's such an empowering show. I wrote this whole article about it a little over a year ago about how it's empowering and how it's very, why it's important, why the show is important to people and the human race, basically. And I should really turn that into a vlog at some point where I'm sitting down and talking about it and like interspersing clips in, only because it'll help get my point across even more. But I'm probably going to DragCon this year. We still have to make sure the dates work for us and we can actually afford it, honestly. But I really want to go and meet all these queens and like just have a good time and you know, just hang out. I know Martina is enthralled with them also. We all love them. We've seen Battle of the Seasons 2 years ago. We saw Bianca Del Rio a little bit after that performing her stand-up, the Royal Decks of Hate tour. And it's just such a good, empowering thing when you think about it. When you hear these queens' stories and what they've been through, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I've rambled long enough. I really should be more structured and like think about the things I want to talk about when I talk about the RuPaul's Drag Race on this Drag Race drive. So maybe there'll be another one of these. I don't know. I'm enthralled. I'm enthralled, you guys. Do you watch Drag Race? Let me know. Who's your favorite queen of all time? Who's your favorite queen from the season? Who's your least favorite queen? Tell me, because I'm very curious who people like this year, because it's tough. There's a couple of really good ones that people enjoy. Anyway, good seeing you. Have a lovely day. Go watch Drag Race if you haven't, because it's a really good show. Okay, goodbye, everyone.